Hello, good day, friends around the world. This is my humble self, I'm HAK, and as you can see, I'm not the only one doing today's broadcast. I have a friend who is equally a TBCian, and in fact, he's a newly registered member. But the way he's going, I'm even afraid because it's like TBC admin is going to recognize him very soon. Who knows whether he's going to be the next broadcaster in Nigeria? I don't know. So
I'm trying to be the Randy Wilson of Nigeria.
are you sure?
So that when Randy comes to Nigeria, I will invite him to my house.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting, and it's a good thing to hear. Anyway, please introduce yourself to the community.
Username Prescon_68. Isaac Preston Ikebu, a new member of TBC since December last year, 2018. As a broadcaster, I would have been talking to my friends because as it is now, I've already spoken with so many people. A lot of people who are interested, there are over 100 as we speak. But because of the nature of online and digital technology in Nigeria, people are already afraid of a lot of things. They think that so many things you talk about that is digital or online, they look at it as a scam. So it takes them time sometimes to actually understand. But within the last few days now, I've had a handful of them coming to register and paying for their back office. I still have so many of the registrations going on. A lot of this would have happened earlier, but because of some little hitches, I was a kind of indisposed. I've not been able to speak on air. But today I want to let those who know me, especially they will be the ones I'm talking to, because when they listen to me, they will actually know that they are listening to someone they know. And that is why I'm like they are the ones I'm talking to. I want them to know basically two things today. One, what TBC is all about. The question is, what is TBC? The number two question will be, what is the concept of TBC? And that concept will take us to what is the meaning of the concept of abundance. So these are the two things I'm going to talk today. I don't know if I should continue or whether you want to have.
Yeah, just to chip in one or two words, I really appreciate your in-depth knowledge on TBC, especially considering the short time frame that you have joined the community and you are able to go to this very detail. Before going into that, may I know what exactly got you impressed, especially I could remember the other day you were telling me that you did this just few things, and when you look at your cookie reward, it was surprising. And was there any way that impressed you to really know that TBC is real?
Yeah, it isn't just the cookies that I'm getting that got me interested. After all, I haven't gotten the cookies before I became interested. One thing I always do, whatever opportunity that you bring my way, I do not just scoff at it and let it go. I'll first of all read it, digest it, and see whether it makes sense. If it does, and I will take it on. If it doesn't, of course, I will let it go. So once I know that it does, I will read it the way I read my examination materials during the university days. So what I did was read on the blog. I've read a lot of blog information. I've come to understand that yes, it makes a whole lot of sense. This is pure economics. This is pure economics. Anybody who understands the economics will just understand the first thing I say I will address. What is TBC? TBC is just a coinage for the billion coin. That is on the face value of it. But TBC is about creating a community of people that will spread abundance, kind of living the way they are supposed to live originally, not the way they are made to live. They are made to live the life of poverty, the life of low class. That is what the elites want everybody to do. When I look at world population 7.5 billion, and then 99% of it are poor, only 1% of 7.5 billion of the world are the elites. 1%, and they are controlling 99%. It's a whole damn bullshit. Now, how do we come to repair this kind of evil? We do not have the power. But thank God for an economist who sat down and said, if a country like United States, having 53 states, will come together and say we'll have one currency, it makes their currency strong because of the strength of their population. That is why dollar is strong. The whole Europe put together, they have euro. Euro is stronger than one nation using their own currency, such as Great Britain pounds. So you now see that if this TBC community now, the community of the TBCians, coming to 1 billion members, that is a great population. It will be the population of China, not by number. It will be the population of India and America, not by number. But for the fact that this population traverses the whole world. Not because 1 point something billion population of China is just in China alone. But this 1 billion population of TBCians will traverse the entire globe. The entire globe, I mean. And if it is in the entire globe, who else will have any currency that will beat that? And here now, we are talking about when TBC becomes full-blown, what is it going to be like? The bridge between the poor and the elite class that have been trampling on the poor will be bridged forever. It is only this TBC concept that can do this. Now, what is their concept for now? To spread this wealth, to spread abundance. How do you mean? That is one of the greatest interesting thing about the TBC concept. If they were to say, come and pay 1 million naira and get 100 TBC, the result would have been only those who have the liquidity of 1 million naira cash, they will be the only ones to get the TBC coins. So the fiat system continues. But in the spirit of spreading abundance, distributing it, it is free of charge. FOC. In Nigeria, once you hear FOC or FOC, it simply means free of charge. How is it free of charge? Just do a task. First task, accept your free cookies and get registered. You will be given a registration cookies.
25,000 cookies.
25,000 cookies. You do your first transaction. Okay, like this December, January, and you are getting 100 million cookies. When you configure 100 million cookies to Kringles, that is one coin, one whole TBC, 1 million Kringles. If by the time TBC becomes full-blown, and someone who used to be poor now has in his coffers 1 million Kringles, which big man can trample on you again? He can only talk to you as a human, not as a slave any longer.
Exactly.
He knows that he is no longer giving you food, and because of that, he tells you any bullshit, you take it. He will talk to you as a man, as a human, no longer as one of his boys. Go and kill someone, you go and kill someone because he will give you money. Go and rob a bank, go and stand on the road, you go there because he will give you money. You have this one, and you didn't purchase it. It is distributed evenly. They never said when Americans do broadcast, they will give them 10 million. When Nigerians do broadcast, they give them 1,000. No, it is even. Whoever does a broadcast gets this. It is even. That is why TBC in the blog, they call it a righteous society. Righteous in the sense that they are trying to correct the evil that the fiat system has has brought on mankind. The the unrighteousness that the elites has brought about the entire world. It is only in the concept of this that we will eventually come to live a life of abundance. Life of abundance and life of greed are two different things. It is not that now I have Krengos, I have my coins. Someone go and buy me 100 cartons of beer I want to be drinking. That is a life of greed. You see someone who drives a car past you, I must have that car. I must have, who will buy my Krengos I want to buy? That is a life of greed. A life of abundance. What are those things you need that ordinarily you've not been able to find money to buy? Now you have money with you. The best thing that has ever happened since I joined, sometimes I wonder how people have survived since 2016. Just joined last December, and within a month, the merchant listing registration has come up. Very, very beautiful, very, very beautiful development. By the time the merchants come up, you will know what everybody has to offer and how much percentage of TBC he is ready to accept. And very beautifully, some people are already accepting 100% for their products. Some services are offering 100%, some are offering 50%. Like myself, when you go to my own registration, merchant registration, you will see how much percentage I'm collecting because my own is services. I'm rendering services.
You are into
building construction.
Good.
That is it's services. So I'm already prepared to receive 30% of TBC because I need to pay those workers that must get their daily pay to eat. So those ones who must pay them. And that's why I need to collect up to 70% cash. Otherwise, I would have started with 50-50. So that is very, very interesting. And there are so many coming up like that. By the time this thing is full blown, you will see that when we are talking about life of abundance, it is not just life of abundance. It is real life. I call it real life because God himself made us and gave us real life to live without pains and complaints. Even though we may still have pains because of ill health, old age, accidents and all that, put those ones apart. But as for caring for our immediate necessities, TBC concept, the TBC community will be very, very happy that the concept of TBC will address that.
Mr. Isaac, I have to say that this is a very great and well-tailored presentation, and it really showed me that you are not just a pushover, so to say.
No.
Anyone listening to you or hearing what you are saying here will just know that you really know in depth what you are talking about. The other day I was listening to Randy Wilson. He was talking about how to train fleas. How to train fleas, just exactly what the financial system or the elites has made us to be. That when you are training a flea, you have to put a ceiling like or just a cover on a particular container you are training. So if after flying to get over that cover for a while, and since nothing is happening, what happens? The flea will limit its flying ability.
Yeah.
So that is what the financial system of the world has succeeded in doing to us. The other day, Stephen Covey was addressing the broadcasters community. He also wrote in the blog about the need for us not to listen to what has been passed along to us. You see, what is that has been passed along to us is scarcity mindset. It was there in the blog.
Yeah.
So when we freely flow with scarcity, like now you come to somebody and say, how you feel like? They say, I'm okay, there's no problem. You start looking at the person, how is it possible that this person is saying that there's no problem? We'll be more comfortable. I mean, people will be more comfortable to hear someone say, I'm just managing, thank God we are. But must it always be like that? Like you rightly pointed out, there are issues that we can't control as human, like accident, sickness, even death. But since we are alive, let that gap be drawn between the living and the dead. Sometimes you may be alive and you cannot be able to play or fulfill your responsibilities. What's the difference between a dead man and a living person? When you know that those things that you're supposed to do, you are not doing it, can you really say that this is fully living? So these are the things that TBC concept has come to address. And I really appreciate your effort in trying to, because when I introduced you to the community, I made sure to encourage you to read the blog, and you surprised me because the knowledge you are exhibiting is showing that yes, you didn't just take it at face value, but to really study the blog and know what is there. And that is exactly what I'm also encouraging others to do. When you come into TBC, one of the blogs says you're not going to be a lazy millionaire. You have to develop characteristics of millionaires, billionaires. You have to learn how to settle disputes. You have to learn endurance. You have to learn how to negotiate. You have to learn different things that will really equip you as, yes, you know what you are doing. So what is the value of money in the hands of those who don't know what they're doing? It's useless. So the admin is doing so wonderful, and we have to say, admin, thank you very much, because the resources you have for us in the blog is such a great one. So I can't say much, but I'm always of the opinion that it's not just about putting someone into TBC. Don't just go about registering people without taking them through. Okay? Run cash flow section belonging to cash flow helps you to really know and understand what TBC is all about. TBC is grooming us for us to really become what is needed to succeed in the community. Your final words? Go ahead.
Yes, the TBC, the admin is actually doing a lot. The admin is doing a lot in the sense that the information found on the blog is making it very easy for us to participate. For instance, I remember at the beginning when I was always asking Mr. Mechi, I asked him, when will we begin to see the benefit of
Sorry for that.
yeah. I used to ask him, when will we begin to see the benefit of the Krengos? When will we start putting it to use? And then he said that I must understand the way this thing works. The billionaire mindset is not all about eating. The billionaire mindset is about how to make money and how to make people, not just how to make money. And when that is the case, it simply means that you need to read. And when I eventually did, I began to answer the questions I was asking him myself. Those questions were, at what point will I exchange my Kringles for cash? And he was telling me, do not be thinking about cashing out. I said, what is cashing out and what is getting cash from my Kringles? He said, once you have the mindset that you get the Kringles and then you exchange them for cash so that you have a lot of money with you, you are thinking about cashing out. But when you want to live the life of a millionaire, which is what the TBC encourages you to do, we will give you millions, but live like a millionaire. It does not mean that you should get the millions and start flaunting it, throwing it everywhere, drinking and making noise everywhere. It simply means that whatever you need, you are going to buy. You have the Kringles to buy it, you won't even be look as if you have touched it. And like I said earlier on, the merchant listings is making that happen very soon. So, but what I meant by that, by reading the blog, I came to understand this sense is this. By reading the blog, one of the blog posts said, we will never ever cash out. Cashing out is not the system here. So I now read along and now I understood that right now TBC is at a value that some people are having their heads blown. But we remember that just 2 years ago, that the value of the TBC coins was so low because of the activities of people. But once, from the time it was controlled, the value has begun to rise and has never dropped down. What you are seeing now, you think that it has come up of value, is nothing compared to what it is going to be when the TBC community eventually enlarges itself. And if eventually it gets to 1 billion members, the blog post said that it will be near impossible for anybody to get one full coin. Meaning that if anybody has one coin at that time, it will never be wanting, and as in be in want at any point in time just by having one coin. Is that not a life of abundance? And remember, as at June 2016, okay, March 2016, how much was a coin? By June 2016, how much was it? Now, we are no longer talking of how much is a coin. It is how much is Krengos now. So nobody should be in a hurry to say, I want to look for those who will buy my coins or my Krengos so that I will get cash. Or immediately I see any merchant store, I will continue to buy and buy and buy and exhaust my Krengos. No. Before long, you will find out that that thing you used 10 Krengos to buy should have been like just 2 Krengos. But by the time if you are just patient enough, contented enough to get what you need, let us say that what you need right now will cost you a total of 20 Krengos. Would that not be more reasonable that you got those items and everybody will know when you are reasonable? But if your account is always seen buying things, every time you buy things, as if, you know, you are falling into a frenzy of purchasing. That is not what the concept is all about. And I actually want to bring together a lot of people that I have talked to. Let us have a kind of a seminar together, and then so that looking at them, looking at me, we'll be able to explain these things using the blog information. This is what TBC is all about. This is what we are expected to do as a member of TBCians. This is what we are not expected to do. These are the tasks we are expected to perform and get a reward of cookies that will be redeemed as Krengos. And when you do not do these transactions, or sorry, these tasks, how do you acquire those Krengos? It's no longer the time to purchase it with money. You must do a task. Attend the same button meetings, do broadcast, speak to people, do cash flow, to register new people, bring them in, enlarge the community. Enlarging the community is what it is all about now. Once the community is getting enlarged, the whatever little value you have now will continue to appreciate and value. This is just like I said, an introduction. In the next broadcast, I will still be talking to my friends who are following my blog to let them know what is the next step, having registered and having understood the basics of TBC. What is the next step? Mr. Mechi?
Thank you so much, and we indeed appreciate your down-to-earth explanation about the billion coin. It really proves to us that you know what you are doing, and nobody is going to question or start asking, does this man really know what he's doing? It's not a pushover. And it's also telling us that we in TBC, we know what we are doing. We are not just trying to get ourselves busy for nothing. So if we are still sitting on the fence, this is the right time to come to TBC and get along doing the right thing, because very soon, the way TBC is going, many people will wish they had joined. So I remain my humble self, Amici Eke, and he is
Isaac Preston.
Hope to hear from you when next. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.